So when Yamaha invited us out to Texas to check out their newest utility side-by-side, everybody kind of wondered what it would be. But here at 4WheelDirt, we kind of had a pretty good idea that it was going to end up being a 6-seat Viking. And here it is. They call it the Viking 6. Now it looks like, you know, a stretched Viking, and in essence that's what it is, but at the same time it's not. It's been basically engineered to work well with 6 passengers rather than just adding a length and adding a row of seats. It is the first true 6-seat utility vehicle, meaning it has a seat for every person that's in this vehicle, not a bench, not a hump. Every rider and passenger has their own space, which is pretty cool. We've been testing the 3-seat Viking for a while now, and we really like the staggered seating that's in the 3-seat vehicle for the center passenger, because it does give you some shoulder room when there's bigger riders in the vehicle. And now they've basically done that with the rear seats. So you got the same staggered center seat. It's going to be comfortable for 6 full-size adults. And we've actually got the invite to come out, check out this vehicle. And originally they were just going to show us the vehicle and that's it. But they actually made some time for us to get just a couple hours on the Viking 6 to see how it runs. Now it's not a full test. We're not going to go hammer it. We're not going to put it, you know, to the full test, but we're going to get an idea of how this thing actually does, see how the longer wheelbase drives. We're going to load it up, you know, with as many people as we can in it, see how each seat feels riding along, and basically give you a quick impression of what we think of this thing. We've got basically an hour with the Viking 6 to ourselves. That was it. So it's basically just to get a feel for this machine. And right off the bat, looking at it, it's a very long machine. It's 7.5 inches longer than the Ranger Crew model, wheelbase wise, and that's quite a bit. So you would expect that it might feel really long on the trails and in tight sections and stuff. And when you're moving, it doesn't. It follows nicely, it tracks nicely. Did notice that the steering wheel effort is slightly heavier than the Viking 3-seater, but it's not bad, and it's not even really noticeable if you haven't been driving the Viking 3-seater a lot before this thing. So power steering effort, it's really good, it's really nice. You can whip in and out of sections. And it does carve pretty nice. You do notice, of course, that there's more weight to the machine, especially when you have more passengers in it. But overall, it's pretty good. It's got a tiny amount of push. If you go slow and you try to make a tight turn going really slow, it'll kind of push itself wide. But that's kind of to be expected with anything with a locked rear end trying to make a tight turn. So I don't think it's a fault. You got a longer wheelbase, you're gonna have to learn to deal with that. Seating position wise, I sat in the back, tons of legroom. Like, I was really surprised. You sit in some other models and your knees are kind of right up against the back of the seat, and you're all the way pushed back into the seat, and it feels really tight. Where this, it's plenty of room. It's really relaxed. I mean, our video guy, Ray, I think he's like 18 feet tall or something. I don't know, but he's got legs that are massive and long, and he didn't even have a problem with it. He got out of it saying how he was really impressed with the legroom. So that right there is pretty impressive. Other than that, it's got all the good stuff that a Viking already has. You know, it's just longer, carries more people, and seems to work really well for this short test that we've done.